Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to this introduction to SOLIDWORKS Composer webinar. I'm happy that you all are here, joining me this morning to talk about, the basics about SOLIDWORKS Composer and to give you some ideas what you can do with the software. My name is Francesco. I'm a 3D Experience Partner Manager here in the Benelux. So what I do is I support our partners and with technical questions and everything to make sure that we can give you the best experience possible. I've been in the industry for a long while. I think I've already started 2011. I've worked at a reseller, been teaching Composer also for about 10 years. And today, what we're going to do is talk about SOLIDWORKS Composer and what it can do and possibly mean for you. So what we're going to do is we're going to go, we have about half an hour, and then we're going to show you some examples what you can do. We're not going to go too deep into it, but it gives you an idea what we can do with the software. So what we are going to do today, I'm going to do a short introduction. Then we're going to see how you can make a static visual for your marketing department, how you can make a technical illustration of your product, how you can do assembly instructions. We're going to look at the exploded view and maybe a bill of material. And we're going to end with making an interactive discovery model for your product, maybe on a fair or maybe for your manufacturing department on the shop floor. So those are the things what we're going to look into today. I'm going to do that with the 2 stars of the shows, and it's going to be these 2 models. We're going to use these models to show you different things what we can do with Composer. So you know about that. So what is Composer? Basically, how you use SOLIDWORKS Composer is that you're, instead of an engineer, you're basically a technical writer or illustrator. And what you're going to do in steps, you're going to explain how a model is assembled. And what you do is you import your 3D model most of the time from SOLIDWORKS. You can also import steps. And what you do is you create individual images that represent a step in your assembly process or clarify an action that needs to be done on a model for your colleagues, for instructional manuals, or for an online or more an interactive experience. So basically what we have is we have a feature tree with your models, and what we call them basically in Composer actors. So there are actors to act out our story on how to do something. Then we have views, and views are basically snapshots, little snapshots that control all the states, the options, the colors, anything for that particular image you want to create. And we use collaboration actors, we call them. Those actors can be measurements, they can be callouts, they can be images, and they are part to enrich your 3D model to have a better explanation. And what we do is we use properties in every view to capture that individual view to make it sure that it looks nice. So I'm going to explain the basics of SOLIDWORKS Composer in the static visual. And we have there a high resolution workshop. That's the option menu where we can create the static image. So this is a image I made in Composer. We're going to see how we can make that. So what is good to know about a static visual image from SOLIDWORKS Composer? It gives a certain feel. It's a little bit different than a render, but it looks nice, but it shows technical illustration. It doesn't show render. So it's a kind of a different feel with SOLIDWORKS Composer you create. It feels more instruction. It's more hand drawn. It feels like, when you make a pattern image. So it's a little bit different, and that's really good for making instructions. The images are created really quickly. So if you compare it to a render, I think the output is really good in comparison with the time it takes to create the image. The other thing is it can be automated and updated. So what you could do is you can, from your views, you can create different images. And if you update it, you automatically can recreate all your images. the thing is what you need to know is that the high resolution image is a pixelated picture. So you need to increase your pixels density if you want to scale it up. And we're going to see some examples later on where you don't need to do that. So let's move to Composer. Let me switch to my SOLIDWORKS screen. So this is SOLIDWORKS Composer. This is my live remote computer. So basically we have our assembly structure like we showed here. I can select all my parts. I have my properties here. And these are my actors. I don't, many times I'm not here. And here are my views. So most of the time I have a basic view. So this is my basic view where I always come back to. So if I make an image, I create a new snapshot. And then what I do, I'm going to manipulate my image. At the moment, I have a big screen, but it's not the output image. And what we can do in the bottom, I can turn on my paper space, it's called. And this is basically the size of the image I'm going to make. So I can move it around, I can turn it around, and this is the output image I'm going to make. So you can still work like this, but know that if you turn this on, this is how your image size is going to look like. So what can I do? At the moment, I'm going to go to render, turn on my ground effects. Not liking that at the moment. And if I click here, I see my options. And for example, I turn this to gray. Zoom in a little bit more to make sure that the image is bigger. And what I can do to make a static image, or what I can do is I update this. So this image now is this. And if I go back to default, I'm back in my default settings. So in your view, you save your camera location, you save your settings, your properties. And this way you can create individual images, but you can always start back. So if I want to take a new image, I go back to default. I have my default settings, and then I make a new snapshot, and I work from that. So that is how in the basic Composer works for the static image. In the workshop, I have all my outputs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start my high resolution image. And basically I can have some settings, anti-aliasing. Can set my pixel width. I use the document paper. I can, for example, automatically make a white background. For example, if you want to use them in Word documents, or remove ground. And if I save the image, it's already saved. Right, and this is the image I just created really quickly. So it's a really quick way. You see already it's a really good quality with a save as. So this is the high resolution workshop. Quickly, image pixelation picture that can be really used in your manuals. So what if you want to go a step further, and we're talking about a technical illustration of a product? So this is the technical illustration workshop, and it's a little bit different because you create these kinds of images. And this is more of an image that you use in a manual or you use on a patent. But there are some differences with the static image. It has a more technical feel. It's more intelligent. I'm going to show you why. It's a vector image, and a vector image means that you can scale it indefinitely. So it's a different type of image than the high resolution image. It also sometimes dumbs down, you make it more like an IKEA picture or a pattern picture. So it removes certain details. It removes extra fillet lines so that it looks more like a hand drawn. So how does it look? Let's go back. So I made this image right here. This is my static image. And I want to work on this one, so I want to make a technical illustration out of this. So I make a new view. And I go to my technical illustration workshop. So I have the option for color region or not color region. So let's do without. So I click on preview here. and it creates an SVG, vectorized file. So in the different programs, you can use those, and they can scale indefinitely because they are vector images, so they don't have pixels in them. Let's see if it can calculate. It takes a little bit more longer. And that is because it really calculates the different parts. Let's wait a few seconds. Let's go. Come on. And this is the image you create. So you see that it has a completely different feel to it. So this is a really good way to create, an image, a certain kind of feel to it. Just to give you a perspective with the intelligence, I have here a finished model. And if I would create a vectorized image out of this, I can also turn on colors, for example. Let's go to the preview. It should go a little bit faster. Let's go. And what I mean with intelligence is that if I go through my BOM, you see the options highlight. So that is the extra benefit of creating an SVG. So technical illustration, really create quickly a more technical feel. You can create some intelligent pictures, and you have a vector image that can be scaled indefinitely. So a good way of, in comparison to when you would save a picture out of SOLIDWORKS. If we go to assembly instructions, one of the major things, and that this is something I really talk with people about, is that probably a lot of you know. If you talk about instructions, a lot of you use SOLIDWORKS, but what they do is when they finish the model, I see a lot of models being modified just to make the assembly instructions. And then people complain, oh, my model is too slow, my model doesn't work properly, because you add all the extra information in to create assembly instructions. You add extra configurations, you add extra display states, and they sometimes overcrowd your model, and they will make other tasks in SOLIDWORKS much harder. But what you can do is you can leave it with the SOLIDWORKS Composer. You can leave your model clean, and you're going to make your instructions in Composer. So I think that is one of the major things. The other thing is you can assign someone else than an engineer to create the instructions. It can be a technical order. It can be something from marketing. So maybe for your engineers, if you don't want to make the instructions, this is a good way to say, hey, we need SOLIDWORKS Composer. And you can put this work at someone else. In really big companies, they really also have specialized people for this. They have technical orders, instructor writers, because it's a really different kind of way to do this. It's a skill you need to learn, how to make clear instructions. You're also not limited to SOLIDWORKS functionalities, so you don't have to do something with your mates. You're not hindered to configuration, so a lot of benefits to working in Composer. And we get some extra tools to make the instructions much more clear. So let's have a look. Let's close this one. So this is my other model. Let's make a new instruction, create view. And what I can do is in the assembly, I can go to model. So I've got here the second shaft. So what I can do is I go to home. I've got this option. Let's see if I can find it. Visibility. Show selected, hide others. So now I have this visible. I can go to view. I can update it. So I don't like the reflection in this model, so I go to my render, turn off the ground. So this is my model I have right here. I can manipulate it. I can change the style. I can go to technical or silhouette. Select a little bit different like this. So let's go back to technical. And what I can do to manipulate it is I can use, for example, my transform options to move things around. Just like you're used in SOLIDWORKS. And then I have some things you're also familiar in SOLIDWORKS with, like, C. And then we go to alter here, and we can dress up this model. I can select the model. I can say I want a path for it to create this. And for example, I can create an circular arrow. So for example, it has to turn around that way. At the moment, the background makes my model a little bit harder to read, so I can change the background. Maybe I can attach some labels. And I can update my image. And then what I can do is I can write it as a 2D image, or maybe as a technical illustration if I want to scale it more. So this is really quickly, without having to think about SOLIDWORKS, without having to think about mates, a really quick way to create assembly instructions for your model. For me, the biggest thing, don't think about your SOLIDWORKS model. Don't be afraid that you make it heavier just for the assembly instructions. And you have some extra tools like the arrows I showed you guys. So this is a really good way to quickly make your assembly structures. Exploded view and bill of materials. Let's go over this. I already showed you a little bit of this model. You can create an exploded view. And again, you don't have to change your model or have to do anything there. You can really work in Composer without messing up. You can create interactive SVGs like I showed you in the beginning. And you get a little bit of a different feel, the technical illustration feel, which I really like. So if we go back to this model, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new view. And I'm going to go to the collaboration. I'm going to turn off my labels in this view. I go to my markup, so I'm going to turn off my arrow. I'm going to turn off my path. And what I'm going to do is I can return my part into a neutral position if I want to, or I can add, more parts in the exploded view. So let me show you this. One of the things I can do, and is let me select everything. So I select all my parts. Linear, and then what I can do is explode them in one go, like this. And orientate it. I can go to the workshop and to the bill of materials. And what I can do is generate BOM IDs. So these are the IDs it needs to give. So here I have my bill of materials. I can show my BOM. and I can manipulate this model. Let me see what we're going to do. At the moment, it is positioned in the bottom. I can change it. I can also put it on free. Now, if I put it on free, I can manipulate it even more. And what I can do is create callouts. Select them. Just to give you a tip, guys, if you remember the magnet, it came originally from SOLIDWORKS Composer. And with the magnet, what you can do is you can turn the balloons on it, and it behaves like a magnet, and you can move it around. Then you can make sure that everything is aligned properly. So let's position this properly. Let's update our view that we created. And you can create a static picture of this, but what we also told you is, hey, I go to technical illustration. Let's go to the preview. And I created this interactive bill of materials here. If I turn on color region and I do it again, I also just get really nicely all the colors in it. And it gives you straight a feel that it's an instruction video. It doesn't look 100% realistic like you would, but it gives a certain feel that, you know, someone understands, hey, this is an assembly instruction. So it puts people in a certain mindset already straight with just a click of the button. So what we have seen, you can quickly create an exploded view. You can turn on the bomb. Good thing is you can import all your properties you have in SolidWorks. You can import them also, so you can add some extra columns. You could make sure that every property you have in SolidWorks is imported into Composer, so you don't have to add any properties anymore. So really a good way to create technical instructions with this. Last thing I want to show you is how to create an interactive discovery model of your product. This can be used at a fair, or if you, for example, want instructions on the work floor of a repeatable product. So what you do is you're going to create views. You're going to capture stages of models, and switching between the views creates an animation. Basically also what you can do, for example, with the more functionality in PowerPoint. You have one position, you have second position, and then you use morph to transfer your model also in PowerPoint. And that's just the same way it works in Composer. So what we're going to do is, this is a model. You can create interactive models for your exposition, create interactive assembly instruction for your shop floor, or create a completely story or walkthrough. So I've been using this for my student robotics team where I'm a mentor. So let me show you what we can do. So this is the model. What you can do is, there's a lot of interaction in here. I turn off the design mode. So for example, this is how it would look. I click here and it would turn on, switch to here. So what I did is I created some actions. I created an up. I created a rotate up. I created a, that it goes up. Let's see, indeed. So maybe it's the old version. Now what I can do is I can go back to the model and I can say, I want to go to this one here. And this is the movement the model makes in, out. So how does it work? I go, for example, I make a new view. So I create a new view. See, this is the arm. So I go to here, select hide others, update my view. And the trick basically here is that you create stages. So what I do, let me show you. If I go to my arm right here, I've got pre-selections made right here. So I've got, this is my arm. And basically I go through this workshop. It's called the view workshop. And you capture the stage of a model. So my selection, I'm gonna capture the location. And I create a view. And this is a different kind of view. So now what I do is, for example, I'm going to rotate this model, transform, rotate. And I'm going to rotate it around this axle. So I'm going to look for the axle, 1 second. And what I'm then going to do is I'm going to capture the selection I had before. And now I have an up position. So if I go back to my view, I zoom out a little bit, I update. I can click here on my view, it goes up and it goes down, up, down. So this is how you can create it. So if you go back here, these are all different views right here I created before: arm position, up, down, rotate. And with this to create, this way I can create this interactive link with the model. So really good. I've used it on a lot of fairs. So really good way to make interactive models. Let's see, sorry. Let's go back to the PowerPoint. So how to create interactive models. You can get the positions really clear. You save them, and then you can apply them to the position. Switching between the states, Composer will automatically create an animation. Yeah, it's back. Let me show you the examples we can do. If you look here, we have a lot of stages. We can, for example, make assembly instructions for the work floor. This is step 1. Sorry, I was at the last step. Let's go to the first step. First step, these are the parts. And this way you can create a whole walkthrough, interactive. You don't need Composer for this. What you can do is have a Composer player, which is free. And you can have this on any computer ready to run. You can repeat steps if you want, and this way you can create, without printing, interactive images, and you can update them. And you can say, go through the model. Thank you for your time today. Just guys, it's the end of the quarter. If you have any interest, contact your local reseller for September offers. Thank you for your time here. I now have time for questions. For everyone else, thank you for your time. And I hope to see you in the next webinar. Let's go to the questions, guys. I'll start with the first. Can you apply a template when doing conventional SOLIDWORKS drawings? go to, I'm not really sure about the questions, but you have a lot of options. One of the things is styles. You can apply styles. So if you have settings, you can apply them. So for example, if you say, I want a different kind of, let me see, a component. I want a different leader. You can create that style here and then reuse that one. So I've got a new style. I can select this one and I can apply that to different ones. Next to it, you have a lot of document and templates you can apply and import. So I think yes. Next question. I'm completely new to SOLIDWORKS Composer and have no idea how to get to the model. I tried adding it in order you follow. Can you kindly state how to save a model if you want to be open to Composer? Rosa. You have two options. If you don't have SOLIDWORKS, Rosa, in the background there will be an importer installed. So if you have a SOLIDWORKS model, you just click on Open, File Open, and you look here for your SOLIDWORKS assembly. And in the background, it will automatically import the models. And otherwise, what you can do from SOLIDWORKS Composer, you can save it as an SVG, SMG. So let me see if I can quickly get that to work for you. While it's starting, let's go to the next question. Is it possible to use STL files in Composer? I never tried, so is it here in the list? Yes, so it's STL. It's in the list here, so yes, I think you can use STLs. How well does it handle wiring? If it's a model in SOLIDWORKS, it will be showing as well as you want to. So if the model in SOLIDWORKS is correct, it will also handle in Composer. Let's go to SOLIDWORKS. Let's make see if I can make a file, guys. So option 1 is to make a block. What you can do is save it as SVG Composer. Let's go on the desktop, webinar. And in SOLIDWORKS Composer, I can open it like this. And it will open my block. This is option 1. Option 2. I open it as a SOLIDWORKS file. Open. I can select SOLIDWORKS part right here. Let's see where it is. I already have it opened in another application. Let's close SOLIDWORKS. And what it will do, it will launch SOLIDWORKS and then it will do the conversion for you. So those are the options to do that. If you have problems with that, contact your reseller and they can help you further. Next question we have, if you want to create a builder manually document from the views, would you recommend how to export the views? Taking series of images into a PDF or document? Let me show you that. I really like this question. It's busy like that. Let me close it because it's Yeah, I didn't have the right setup. So what you could do, if you make a workshop here, high resolution images, multiple, what you can do is automatically save them. So let me do this one here, save as. I'll make a folder, images. This is a really neat trick what we can do with Composer. Save. So now it created all my images. Let's see if I have Word right here. And this is the neat trick you would do. This is what I would advise you. If you insert a picture, let's go to my desktop. I would insert it, link to file, insert and link. So if I do it again, do it for the next picture. Insert and link. Let's save our Word document. Test document. If we go back to Composer, I think this is the first image. Let me see which one did we have. Which one did we change? I think that one, eh? That one. Let's change it big, like this. Update. I think the other one we changed was, it's either this one here, so let's change them all. I make changes to them. And if I save them again in the same name, oh, I pressed the wrong button. You shouldn't see it. Let's do that quickly again. The good thing is if you link them and you change the picture, your pictures in your Word document also will change automatically. So you don't have to set it up again. So that's a really neat trick to do that. Let's see if I can show you again really quickly. So it's called Gearbox. Let's insert this picture, then it's going to go quicker. Custom rendering. So this is one. It's custom rendering I have to change. And BOM. So let me change the BOM. Let's go to the workshop again. Save as. So you see the image has been changed. Let's see this one. You have to set it up properly. I try to do it right here. Now the trick will be when I open it again, will the image be changed? See, and the image is changed. So this is a good way to make that one. Let's go to more questions. Can I ask you which type of computer you're using? Let me go to that one. Just a normal computer would work. It needs a less computer than SOLIDWORKS would. Is it possible to export an animation and upload it to YouTube? Yes, it's possible. Let's have a look. If I go to animations here, go to view. I've got an animation right here about the whole model. And what I can do is I go to my workshop video. I can save it. Save. I would always do full compressed and then use a different program to change your compression to make it smaller. Let's go to the next question, Daniel, and then I'll show you the results. I've got a question. Can we receive this PowerPoint? Please reach out. Let me show you my email. I can show you the PowerPoint. So let me show you for the person beginning. This is my email. If you want the PowerPoint, send me an email. I'll get you a PowerPoint show. So let's see. Video is almost done. Still working on it. The question is, can you dimension faults for sheet metal in Composer? I have not tried it, so please reach out to your reseller to ask that question. I have never tried that before. How are SOLIDWORKS models linked to Composer? Basically, it's linked to the assembly file. You can update it. You can also link it in PDM. So it works normally like everything else. So I'm not sure if your PDM file is linked, but it will look to the, once it's imported and you update it, you can link it like that. I've got a question about the roadmap. Unfortunately, I cannot answer that now because I have no idea about that, fortunately. Try to put it on the form or otherwise send me a mail and I can find out later. How do you do wiring routing on SOLIDWORKS Composer? You really need to do it in SOLIDWORKS and then import the models. If I import a vector image of the illustration, will the output PDF still be vectorized? You would have to Google it. So it's a generic answer outside of SOLIDWORKS Composer. We provide the vector image, so it depends on probably on the PDF program. So you would have to look into that. Let's see. We answer every question. Is there a selection of tools and images that you can drop into the assembly images? This is Liam. I'm not really sure what you mean. So if you want give some more clarification, Liam, then I don't see. Are you still here? Let's see. If you're here, Liam, please raise your hand and then maybe you can ask the question. And then I will be happy. You can also talk if you want to and answer the question. I give you talking rights. So I would be happy to answer if I know a little bit more what you mean. Tools for assembly instructions. I understand what you mean. Yes, you can do that, but you have to make a library for that, huh? Let me see if I have that example. Yes, you can, Liam. Let me show you. 1 second. Let me find something for you. I have to find it. There's a really good example. Let me find that example for you because I now understand what you mean.
So when you check in here,
this is a YouTube video I would recommend. This is a really old one, but this really shows you what you can do. Let's see. Let's see. They even have the option. Let me see where I can find it. They have the option which tools to use. So basically, what we can do is, let me think about it. You can drag an option in, yes. What you also can do is what I did before is, if you go to the training, Liam, we also can put in a digital hammer in 3D. So if I would have a hammer, I can import it into the model right here, or a screwdriver, and then use it in 3D. So hopefully that answers your question. I don't have the model straight here, but I could show you if you want. So there is a possibility even for 3D to enter your drills and then use them in your 3D model. Let me think about which model that was. I don't have it at hand, but know that I've done that before. Question, does Composer need their own license? Yes, you need to buy it separately. Do you make the cutaways in Composer? Let me show you. Think, and then you can make the cutouts also in Composer. So you can do that in Composer. Okay. Let's go through it. Yeah. Can you link Composer with 3D Experience? Yes, that is possible. There's a role for that that you can purchase. I think that's possible. What's the difference between Composer and Composer Player? Composer Player is just a viewer. It's basically the viewer where you have all the options in it. So in Composer, you make the model. In Composer Player, you view it. So it's more like, you know, an advanced viewer. Let's go through it. Okay, I've got most of them. Let's go. Hopefully my animation is done. This one is for Daniel. This is the animation I just made. And the best way to import it into Camtasia on another product to make a better codec. So if you really look at it, at the moment it's 3.5 gigabytes, but it's because it's fully uncompromised. If you put it into a Camtasia, you could probably get away with 10 MBs for your YouTube video. So you always need to compromise it afterwards. That's the best way to do it. And other programs are really good at it. Okay. Hey, guys, thank you very much. If you have any more questions, your local reseller should also have enough specialists available to help you further. It's the end of the quarter, so you probably can get a good deal at your reseller if you call them today. And any questions, go to the forums. We have a good public forum that could help you further. Thank you very much and have a good day.